Every woman carries a private truth she protects more fiercely than almost anything else. It is not her past, her experiences, or even what she claims she wants. It runs much deeper, something instinctive, something rarely spoken. It is the quiet awareness of her own vulnerability. The man who notices this without judgment, who understands it calmly instead of denying it, gains an advantage most men never even realize exists. Look around at the world today. Messages of empowerment, independence, and strength are everywhere. Yet many of these narratives exist to cover one underlying reality. Deep down, women know they are vulnerable. No amount of confidence, career success, or social validation can completely erase that awareness. Those who see this clearly hold the key to understanding attraction, respect, and influence. I'm not talking about obvious physical limitations, that is surface level and easy to see. I'm talking about something deeper and invisible: emotional sensitivity, psychological uncertainty, and existential pressure. These forces quietly guide much of a woman's behavior, even when she never admits it. Here is the first truth most people misunderstand. This vulnerability is not a flaw. It is not something broken that needs fixing. It is part of her natural design, woven into feminine psychology itself. The moment you stop pretending it does not exist, the moment you stop following the idea that women are invincible, untouchable, and unaffected, everything shifts. You stop becoming just another man seeking attention or validation. You begin to see patterns most men completely miss. Here is the irony. Women do not truly respect men who constantly reassure them of their strength. They do not admire the man who endlessly agrees, praises, or reinforces their image of total independence. In fact, such men often appear predictable and unchallenging. What draws women on a deeper level is far more subtle. They are drawn to a man who can see past the surface, recognize their hidden sensitivity, and remain calm, grounded, and confident. A presence like that creates curiosity, respect, and attraction, far more effectively than reassurance ever could. This understanding is not new. Machiavelli, the Renaissance strategist, captured it clearly when he wrote that leadership sometimes requires firmness rather than constant affection. He was not promoting cruelty, he was exposing human nature and showing where real influence comes from. When you recognize a woman's vulnerability without judgment and without trying to rescue or fix it, you step out of illusion and into truth. In that space, attraction and respect are not given freely. They are earned by the man who sees clearly and acts deliberately. The invisible clock. Many modern women say they want equality in every sense, emotionally, socially, professionally. They insist they do not need validation or reassurance. But words are easy. Behavior tells the real story. Watch who they give their time to. Watch who holds their attention and admiration. It is rarely the man who treats them as perfectly equal in every moment. It is the man who subtly reminds them of something they rarely say out loud, their inner sensitivity. Every woman carries a quiet tension inside her. Time is always moving forward. Youth changes, beauty evolves. Fertility has limits. No title, income, or online recognition can stop that process. This is not opinion, it is biology and psychology combined. She knows this, even if she never says it. Around certain ages, this awareness often shows up as pressure, comparison, or emotional reactions that seem confusing on the surface but make sense underneath. These reactions are not defects, they are reality colliding with illusion. A man who understands this and remains calm, steady, and unshaken becomes naturally attractive. Not because he reassures, but because he operates from truth. Time is her silent pressure. Awareness of it gives you leverage, but only if you stay detached, patient, and observant. This perspective changes everything. You stop chasing, you stop panicking, you move with calm authority. Owning your edge. Real strength begins when you see a woman's vulnerability without judging her or denying it. You stop living from need, you stop seeking approval, you stop tying your self-worth to her reactions. Here is a truth rarely spoken aloud. She often needs you more than you need her. Not because you are superior, but because a man's value can grow with time through purpose, discipline, and direction. If he invests in himself, he becomes stronger, more grounded, more capable as years pass. A woman does not experience time the same way. This awareness shapes her emotions and decisions, even unconsciously. Your advantage is simple. You stay calm, you stay steady, you do not chase, you do not plead. That quiet presence becomes magnetic. Most men fail by reversing the natural order. They chase, they compromise their standards. They become emotionally dependent, attraction fades, respect disappears. But when you act from self-respect and purpose, she notices, even if she cannot explain why. You become the prize. Stay grounded and unmovable. Overgiving does not create loyalty. Constant sacrifice does not earn respect. Machiavelli understood this clearly. A man who repeatedly lowers himself for approval loses value. A man of worth does not beg for attention or validation. His value comes from within, from his confidence, his presence, and the way he lives. So how do you respond to a woman's vulnerability? First, never present yourself as having no options. Maintain mystery. Let her wonder. Second, never make her the center of your life. Your mission must come first. Your life should feel full, not dependent. Third, avoid predictability. A balance of warmth and restraint keeps curiosity alive. Curiosity fuels attraction. Certainty kills it. When you remain strong and grounded, you teach an unspoken lesson. Not every man can be controlled. Your value exists independently of anyone else's approval. Reading her in social settings. A woman's insecurity often appears most clearly around other women. Small comparisons, subtle shifts, quiet competitions hidden in casual talk. In these moments, do not intervene. Do not take sides. Do not get pulled into drama. Detachment creates attraction. When you stay calm and above it all, you signal strength. Gossip and jealousy cannot touch you. Around younger or more attractive women, her behavior may subtly change, seeking reassurance, acting distant, or becoming more attentive. This is where restraint matters. Do not rush to comfort. Do not over-explain. Stay composed. Your calm speaks louder than words. Do not rush to calm her with compliments, excessive praise, or obvious attention. Allow the tension to exist. Let her reflect. Let her question where she truly stands in your life. Let her realize that her position is not automatic or guaranteed. That uncertainty, when handled with composure, is what quietly fuels attraction. Curiosity, desire, and even mild emotional tension are far more powerful than constant reassurance or comfort. When you move through these social moments correctly, something rare happens. You become the prize, not just another participant in emotional games. You become the man whose life does not revolve around her doubts or validation. Your presence, confidence, and self-worth remain steady, untouched by rivalry, gossip, or comparison. This may appear subtle, but its impact is strong. It separates you from most men who react impulsively, chase approval, or attempt to manage situations from fear or need. In real terms, this means observing instead of reacting. Watching calmly without judgment. Understanding social behavior without becoming emotionally entangled. Remain steady when she tests boundaries, seeks reassurance, or measures herself against others. Hold on to your independence and sense of self. When you do this, her insecurities stop being obstacles and start becoming insight. You gain clarity into her behavior, preferences, and fears, without forcing outcomes or pushing control. This is not about manipulating her, it is about seeing reality clearly. Her insecurities are real. They always have been, and they always will be. But when you respond from inner strength instead of emotional dependence, they no longer work against you. They naturally work in your favor. You gain respect, quiet influence, and confidence without pressure or force. You show her, and everyone else, that your value is not shaped by approval, competition, or social attention. You become the man who moves through life with calm authority, unaffected by unnecessary drama, yet fully aware of social dynamics. Her emotional sensitivity stops being a problem and becomes awareness. Your insight, your understanding, your edge. Mastering real power has always required firmness, not cruelty, not ego, but courage and decisiveness. True leadership is not built by trying to be liked at all times. Influence is not created by constant comfort. Sometimes doing what is necessary may appear distant or firm, but it builds respect. The same principle applies in relationships. Often, the strongest action is allowing her to face reality. Let her experience the outcomes of her choices. Do not rush to rescue her from discomfort. Do not soften every moment with empty reassurance. Stop using empty words or false reassurance. Let natural consequences unfold. She may react emotionally at first. She may call you cold, unfair, or insensitive. She may try to justify her frustration to herself or others. But beneath the surface, something important happens. She respects you, not because you agree with every illusion, not because you validate every impulse, but because you stand firm. Your life, your values, and your decisions exist independently of her moods or expectations. Respect follows strength, not compliance, and attraction grows from that strength. Here is what most men never understand. The goal is not sex. It is not revenge. It is not proving anything to her, to others, or even to yourself. The real goal is to build a life so full of power, purpose, and direction that women become a part of it, but never a necessity. When your life is abundant, your identity is solid, and your presence is intentional, you stop chasing approval. Instead, people, including women, are naturally drawn to your energy and ambition. Here is the ultimate insight. When your self-worth does not depend on her validation, her emotional fluctuations stop being a source of anxiety. They become information. Neutral data you observe, understand, and navigate calmly. Not a weapon, not leverage. A map. This is the mark of true mastery. When life challenges her beliefs or self-image, you remain steady. Her reactions no longer control your choices. They simply inform them. From this position, everything changes. You stop being a man at the mercy of attraction. You become the man who defines the terms and moves through life with control. This is becoming the unmoved man. Let her believe she is strong, independent, untouchable. Let her repeat it, post it, and reinforce it. You do not argue with illusions. Instead, you focus on what actually matters, your own life. You build skills. You build purpose. You build presence. You grow your value and create your own empire, whatever that means for you, without needing her approval, praise, or permission. And one day, reality reminds her of a truth that cannot be avoided. True strength is not claimed. It is earned. It cannot be faked through appearance, attention, money, or performance. Strength is forged through responsibility, discipline, and standing firm when doubt appears. Her deep need for security, stability, and guidance cannot be fulfilled by words or illusions. It can only be met by a man who truly stands his ground. This is where your real power lives. When you understand this, something shifts inside you. You stop resenting women. You stop feeling confused or bitter. You begin to see clearly. You recognize patterns. You understand instincts. You respond with awareness, not emotion. With strategy, not fear. The real question is not whether you notice these dynamics. They exist whether you acknowledge them or not. The real question is how you act. Consciously, with strength and control, or unconsciously, from need and desperation. Most men fail because they react. They seek validation. They hand over their power without realizing it. Male-female dynamics have always involved power. That will not change. The difference between men who struggle and men who rise is simple: awareness and discipline. The man who understands the rules and applies them consistently elevates himself. The man who reacts emotionally remains trapped. The transformation is simple in concept, but radical in execution. Stop seeking validation. Stop living inside illusions. Stop letting approval define your value. Stand firm. Focus on your path. Let reality speak. When you do, you are no longer playing her games. You become the one who sets the rules. This is real power. This is mastery. This is transformation. And it begins the moment you choose clarity over comfort and direction over approval.